Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, 100 Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm Fempreneur Extraordinaire, Tech Diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the crossroads where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
I love how we both giggling at the same thing, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah, yeah.
only thing in my head was like, remix.
Wait on it. Wait
All right,
on it.
hold up, because in the last 5 seconds, I'm like, oh.
Not yet.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
There's more. There's more.
How you feeling? How's your week been? Exactly.
Yeah, but it's been interesting. So hashtag Boo was sick last week.
Mm,
I didn't know when we were broadcasting, but by that evening, I think I um,
mhm,
found out that he wasn't feeling well, and so the entire week, like really, really wasn't feeling well. So
mhm.
just being Nurse Dre Renee. But
Oh,
always my pleasure because,
mhm,
that's what partnership is. But I'm just glad that he's feeling better and getting
mhm,
back to himself. But yeah, this week was that. And I had to prepare for a presentation, and it was in a hybrid format. So I was like in the room with people and then presenting to people in other locations. And so, technology and all that, just like praying everything goes well, on top of praying that your presentation goes well and all of that. And now preparing to go out of town for a conference. So it's just, it don't stop.
the tech diva, entrepreneur extraordinary, tech diva all day.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would.
and then dealing with an interesting client in the middle of all of that. So, it's
You
just,
said dinner with the interesting client.
I said dealing with an interesting. I wish it
Oh,
was just dinner. I'd take that, but
mhm. Well, cheers to cheers to having clients.
cheers to having clients.
It always
Hmm.
reminds me of a tone one of our LBs spoke to me. I forget which. It was my birthday, and he was wishing me a happy birthday and said, "What am I doing?" I was like, "Man, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just, whatever, just another day." I was on some of that. He was like, "Well, as long as you keep having birthdays, I guess."
Amen. 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 And every time I talk about her, I go, Lord, I thank you. Like, even though
Mhm.
I am grateful, and, it's an indefinite situation at this point. So,
Yeah.
you know,
The
Lord, I
most
thank you.
interesting,
But
the
also,
most
help
interesting
me.
clients be bringing in. They be paying though, right? It's
Mhm.
like, and they be coming back. It's like,
I think because they know they're interesting. It's like, let me
right.
stick with the one I got because nobody.
It's almost like you see somebody that's weird and they in a relationship, but they be a long-term relationship. It's like,
Yeah,
look,
they,
I'm not about
they
to.
holding on. They like,
I
don't
found
let me
somebody that
go.
can deal with me.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
I
That is
wonder if
exactly
somebody ever
what
thought
it
about me like that.
is.
Like,
Well, it's about them. Oh, that you are
have I
interesting.
no, yeah, like have I been the weird one before?
Yeah, and weird in the fact that they're different, right? So
Mhm.
I am left brain analytical, make it make sense. Linear is best. Even if you zigzag, just allow me to follow you, right? Like, or say, hey, we about to zig left, zag right, right? But I'm dealing with a. I work with creatives, so it's not a knock on creatives, but have some sort of
All right, because
organization
I'm
to
like
your team.
they sounded like me, right?
Just like, oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh, it's all over the place. Not just a little bit,
you sound
but
like my
everywhere.
therapist, right? You sound like my therapist right now.
It's
Like,
like,
but with
can
less
we bring it in
frustrations.
here? Oh yeah, yeah.
So in my real life, I think I'm able to kind of bring my point here. But so when I'm in therapy, I just talk. I don't try to make it make sense. I
Well,
don't
that's
tie
therapy.
anything together.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
what I'm
therapy.
saying, I'm like, I've learned. So me and my therapist, we have this a relationship to where I'm just totally free. I don't try to make sense of anything, right? I just talk.
Hmm.
like all my thoughts, and I'm like, I know I'm all over the place, and she's just looking at me and just like, and she doesn't even look down when she writes. She's just, and then after I do it, I was like, and I swear to God, every session I was like, does that make sense? And she's like, yeah, and then she'll regurgitate it and she'd be connecting it, and I'm like, how did you do? Like, I didn't even make sense of what I just said.
Oh, well, she's better than me because my brain feels like it's gonna explode. And that's really my thing. Like, being a creative and zigging and zagging is one thing, but the expectation for somebody to then align it and make sense out of it is where I get frustrated, right? Because I'm coming in to help this person with their systems and things that are going on in their business. But if you can't explain to me what things are supposed to look, I can help you with the how. But like, what's the end game? And you're doing I'm like, child, how do you expect me to get a straight line from all this squiggly? Also, like, I don't have time to really explain everything. So it's in bits and pieces, right? Like, oh, let me show you this right quick. Oh, let me show you that right quick. And then, well, does this come before that? Or is that come before this? Like, so that's what I've been dealing with, child. And
I feel like this experience is going to make you even that much better at what you do, because when you have an extreme client, when you get one that's similar but not as extreme, it's going to be like, okay, you sounding like, blah, blah. Look, this is, so whatever process it's going to take you to get this person on the same page, you've now mastered that with the next client. So I know that's not helpful.
I was like that. Thank you. That's why I just say thank you, Lord, and keep moving, because
I know it don't look like it now. And I mean, hugs. You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying?
I appreciate that.
But yeah, so yeah, it's been a kind of a, some things up, some things down this week in the world, and we're gonna talk about some of that and everything else. But before we do that, let us pay these bills. I'm gonna get a sip first because we're gonna try to get through this. All right.
Water. That's important.
That is important.
I'll wait. Yeah, I'll do it after. Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I could just walk off the scene.
I mean, you could. I do it. All right. Right when I get started, she's like, hey, I'm like, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were still laughing at what I was saying. I didn't know.
I'm always laughing at you on the inside.
Oh.
So
wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Glad I'm your entertainment.
Yeah. So y'all, wait, we ready? Okay. The Crossroads Podcast is brought to you by the House of 334.
The house.
For all your business branding and copyright needs, go to house of334.com. It is Black owned, it is woman owned, it is Black woman owned, and it is amazing. And make sure you move quick because the house will fill up fast. The Crossroads Podcast is also brought to you by The Crossroads. Y'all, you can go to our bit.ly at bit.ly/The Crossroads, THEXROSSROADZ, for everything that we do, our future projects, our past episodes and everything else. And for those who continue to donate to the show, we thank you. So y'all can go to that link to donate as well. Y'all, this is a labor of love, but love ain't free. And if you think it is, go tell your landlord that you love them. Also, y'all are watching us right now on YouTube. Scroll down right now, hit the subscribe button right now. We need those subscriptions, y'all, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can get notifications for when we go live and when new episodes post. We appreciate all y'all support, your continued support to make this thing grow.
Also, if you paid attention to the description this week, the links are in the description. You don't have to go anywhere. All you have to do is scroll down. There's our Cash App link is there. Our PayPal link is there. The link to Barzini's book is there. The Bitly link is there. Like, everything you need. The subscription link is there. Everything is there. I was watching one of my favorite podcasts and I was like, why isn't that in the description box? It's going to start being in the description box.
Hey, why my boss used my book to call me out this evening, though?
Uh-oh. I don't know, but I did add Champion Traits to my Kindle.
Tender. Okay. So
Because I
she.
know you said you're gonna send it to me, but I don't know when it might arrive, and
Oh,
I'm ready to
it's
read
not
it.
gonna take long. Yeah, it's not gonna take long.
No,
But
you said last week, and I'm ready to read it when I get on the plane tomorrow. So I
oh,
just I just
oh,
did my part.
I'm sorry. I didn't. Okay.
Just wanted you to know I had it.
I just this is my
I
second
still want
call out.
I
Yeah,
still want your book, but
yeah.
just so
I've
you know, I'm on
this
the
is
journey already.
this the second call out in an hour about me having not done something, right? So I didn't do something at work. I wasn't the only
Mm-hmm.
one, but I didn't get something done. And I text my boss, being accountable. And so she sends me a voice note. She was like, "Yeah, I'm perusing through this book called Champion Traits." And she's like, and I went to a chapter called The Consummate Professional, which is chapter 9. The Consummate Professional. I was like, no.
Checkmate.
Right, right. Well, it was more encouragement than a call out, but it was also a little slight call out too, like, hey, you write about this stuff, so make sure that you on top of the stuff that you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
But a
That's how
champion
it
trait
goes.
is also being accountable, so progress, not perfection. I will, before I go to bed, complete the assignment that I did not do so I can walk. And I was up till 10 o'clock getting it
Mm,
done for the team. I'm not gonna be up till 10 o'clock doing it, but
right. Okay.
it's not that hard of a task, but I do need to take care of it because I did get sidetracked and distracted, and I wasn't focused, and I had to be accountable for that. So
Hmm. Well, we're coming to your state tomorrow, not necessarily your city. Though
mm,
my mom was like, "Does Barzini have some? What did she say? Do you have any recommendations for some good restaurants for us?" And I was like, "He's not there. He's
in, te- in
down."
in
Yeah,
Texas, right?
I was like, "It's a big. It's like when people do us about California, like
Right,
you in
right.
LA and they in the Bay." She was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I thought he." So she was looking forward to seeing you, and I had to let her know that you were not
Oh,
where she thought you were.
yeah. You gotta call MB for those recommendations.
Yeah, I told her. She's like, "Okay, well, I want to see her too." So she
Mhm.
thought everybody was together. I had to let her know, y'all. You can come together when when there's an occasion.
Uh-huh.
Y'all will drive, but you don't live
Right.
in
And
the
if it
same city.
wasn't in the middle of the week, then that would be a whole lot easier.
Yeah,
Um,
there's something
but
else I wanted to tell you. Hmm, it'll come back. Go ahead.
right. So I'm gonna jump to segment 2 to start things off, and then we'll go back to segment 1.
Okay.
Um,
They don't know what segment it is anyway,
right,
so
right. I was just informing you, so you're not looking like
oh, it's
like
like,
we in the wrong segment.
no, I wouldn't do you like that. You would
Right.
probably do me like that. I would just make sure that the screen did what it's
I'm like,
supposed
that
to
ain't
do.
what the note said.
Yep, I know. I know you. I know you. I would just make the screen align to whatever you said, and you would have to pause and make a note right there. That's not what we discussed. Mhm.
You know what? I'm just gonna become a better person because clearly today I'm being shown that I am not who I thought I was. But
Oh gosh.
so we're gonna start the show giving a shout out to young queen Miss Coco Gauff, who has won the US Open in all of her illustrious black girl magic.
All right. Yes.
And becoming the youngest US Open champion since Serena. So yes, Serena won it at age 17, and she you keep getting see, I'm a whipping boy around here. It's all good though. I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
That's
But
all
yeah,
good.
so Coco won it at age 19. I think she might be the third oldest to win it. Don't quote me on that. I know Martina Hingis, who I didn't really like when she was playing. No, as a player, I don't know her as a person because
Hmm.
she was always playing against Venus, and that was like her nemesis. But she won it at age 16. So
Hmm.
we need a 15-year-old black girl that can play some tennis to come out there and
I know that's right. And
and win the
dominate.
US Open.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. So it was interesting because there were some instances during this US Open where the rules weren't being called, let's say, fairly in Coco's favor. Like I know I don't understand all of the ins and outs of tennis. I mean, I know the basics and how the game is played and scoring and certain shots. But she was on Coco's serve. One of her opponents was never ready for her serve, and they kept like pausing for her to get ready. And so Coco was like arguing with the ref, like, it's not my responsibility to wait for her. She's supposed to be ready when I serve. Like
Mm.
y'all are allowing her like pretty much to prepare. Like you're supposed to be ready when somebody serves. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like you saw some backlash when people was talking about like she's crying or doing this, but like the rules are the rules. And
Mm-hmm.
so when she was also telling this to the ref, she was standing there and the other girl was sitting down, and she was like, she's not even supposed to be sitting down. Like that's against the rules. And so it's clearly against the rules, but the ref like didn't say anything to the other girl, and all this other stuff. So there was like a whole lot of hoopla over that. A lot of discussion, like if it were the other way around and Coco was doing
Mm-hmm.
it, would they have said something? You know, I know like Serena would get backlash when she showed emotion, and some people were making distinction between like the black players versus the white players, or the women players versus the men, and things of that nature. Now, I will say they don't say much when. Well, it tends to be when the men are being demonstrative, like they're encouraged, and it's like, like back in the day, you had John McEnroe
Mm.
breaking rackets and yelling and going crazy, and then you have I forget his first name, this young cat, Curios. He's
Mm-hmm.
entertaining, but he throws tantrums, and like he's like the bad boy of tennis and everything else. But
Shout out to being the bad boy.
I mean, shit, but he's made a brand out of it pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like the good guy that's, you know, uh, misunderstood. And they have a series on Netflix where he's featured, I think, in like the first episode where Curios is.
Oh, I might have seen that.
You
I
have
might
to.
have
It's a, it's
seen
a,
that.
it's a sports doc. I know you own it.
I was like, when you said that, I'm like, I think I've seen that one.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But so what
I
are your
because
thoughts?
his name clearly didn't stick to me, but
Right. So do you feel that there's a difference between either the black players, black women players versus like the men players, or like is it a racial distinction? Is it a gender distinction? Like what have you seen?
mm. Well, I don't follow tennis. I know the names and
Hmm.
shout out to black people doing all the things. But I would say in life that's how it goes, right? Like, black players need to control their tempers, they need to control their celebration, they need to operate in a certain level of decorum. And then I think even between black people, black women, even more so. So
Hmm.
it's the whites, black men, you're allowed a little bit more. And then black women
Hmm.
just play the sport. And it's interesting because they don't want you to play too hard, but the dominance is what propels you. That's what causes you to excel. So even the way that the Williams sisters played, in the beginning on through, I think now there's this great appreciation for it. But in the beginning, yeah, it was what Ashley is pointing out, right? Made
Hmm.
a terrible cartoon of Serena because she called out a ref. Or just even in their looks, like there have been so many attacks that have been levied upon black players of all sports,
Hmm.
but definitely I would see in a game like tennis, which I don't want to say that, but there are a lot of
I mean, be free to be you.
white. I was like, white people believe that it's their sport, and so
Well, every
to
sport was
now
until we came along.
it was. I was to say it was, and I think
Like,
that's what it is. Like, oh my God, here they keep coming.
mhm.
Okay, we gave them basketball. They got basketball. They have football. Oh God, here come Tiger Woods wrapped
Look,
up golf,
once we got golf, look, hey.
and then here's these little girls with these beads,
Hmm.
and they have taken over tennis.
Hmm.
And I just think by any means necessary, they want to keep us down. This is
Yeah.
really what it is. Or
And normal,
silence.
yeah. When we start to play and excel in the white dominated sports that are, well, the white dominated sports that are left, it's like we're
Hmm.
always GOAT status, right? So like early
Yeah.
on, you had Arthur Ashe, you know.
Hmm.
So even the main stadium at the US Open is Arthur Ashe Stadium, who paved the way for a lot of black players, you know. And so since then, you've had like James Blake, who was like the only black player that we saw until we started seeing like Venus um come along. And then here comes, so, well, you had Venus, who was like really tall and long, but then you had Serena, who was built like you've never seen somebody built in tennis, you know.
Hmm.
On the woman's side, you know, thick, muscular, in shape, strong, you know, all the grunting and everything else, like just
Yeah.
power. And it wasn't just power, but she had speed, grace, finesse, and power, you know. And she's arguably the greatest tennis player on men or women, you know, certainly the most dominant that we've seen or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think narratives always had to be created. Like with Tiger, one slip up, or he had more than one slip up, but like the fact that his actions were considered slip ups, right? When
Yeah.
it's not any different than any other athlete in any other sport, but we have to make him look like, you know, the bad guy to bring him down. Um,
Hmm.
and so I don't know. It's really interesting. Um, Football and basketball, we do have to toe a line, but now it's not so much as the players because you know we're majority in those sports, but now moving into coaching, you know. So now
Oh
you got
yeah.
now we're getting demonstrative in the coaching sector with Coach Prime, you know,
Hmm.
where he's outspoken and he's like Prime has been Prime since Prime was Prime,
So it's
you
prime was
know,
priming. Yeah.
as a college player, as an NFL
Which
player,
is why he's prime.
right? And so he's not he's not assimilating to the coaching culture, right? Like
Hmm.
subdued kind of, you know, like nah, I'm prime, I'm rocking the chains, I'm doing me, you
Yep.
know.
Same thing he
And
was doing as a player.
right, and a lot of people don't like that, and he's winning. And that's the part that hate the most. It would mean nothing if he wasn't winning,
Winning.
right?
Yep.
And I think if Tiger, you know, oh hey, here's this black guy, and if he was just pedestrian, it would be nothing. But it was the fact that he's winning, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and
And they
so
won again this
yeah,
weekend.
they won
Right.
again this weekend, and
And
uh,
I told Barzini, like, oh, I'm gonna try to find me some tickets so I can go see them play US.
yeah, she really, she thought. I swear, I don't even say this, but I was like, oh,
Oh
mind
my God,
you,
my life has been so hectic. I had the thought a
and
while ago,
y'all,
but
it's not even the fact that she's talking about getting tickets. She was trying to get tickets to Colorado versus USC. Like,
yeah, yeah. I was like, I
I
want
mean,
to go see
getting
my
tickets to a USC game in general is hard now. Like I got that Caleb Williams, you know, Heisman Trophy winner. So you got
alma.
Caleb Williams versus Shador Sanders with Coach Prime. Nah, nah,
Yeah,
baby, that
I'm gonna
ain't.
have to just have something
Yeah,
make you shake at the house, I
all
guess.
right. I think there's, and I don't even know if they're still available. The last I saw, there were only two games this season left that have available tickets to Colorado's
Wow.
games. That's the prime effect, where the stadium was empty last year, to sold out almost every game, and they're only two
Hmm.
games into the season. Like
Guess they
that
got the money
dude,
to pay him now. Guess they can get on.
that dude is a machine.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen nothing like it, you
No.
know. And I'm
Mm-mm.
happy. I'm happy to be witnessing it. I want to see, and the fact, the way he's got the family invested in it, like I really want to shout out Dion Jr. because he's behind all of their media or social media and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one you don't see because he's always behind the camera. You know, so all the pregame speeches, all the postgame speeches, all the at the house, everything that he's doing, following him to the
Mm.
restaurant. That's Junior right there. So you see Shador,
Oh,
Tyler, and Junior's behind the camera. So it's a family affair, and it's beautiful to see. And then I think it's hilarious at all the commercials that he's in during the game.
all right. Yeah, the
You
Geico
know,
commercial.
no Affleck. You got Affleck, and you
Affleck.
got yeah. He
Sorry.
got he got Affleck. He
Glad
got
y'all not a sponsor, but you can be. I
yeah.
get it right if you
Right.
sponsor.
Exactly. So he had. I've seen Affleck. I've seen KFC. This dude had a commercial for
I can see
almonds.
the
I would.
KFC one.
Yeah, he got a KFC commercial.
Almonds.
Almonds.
That
So
is hilarious. Well,
shout out
keep
to
it going,
Coach Prime.
Prime.
Yeah, keep
Keep
it
it
going,
going,
Prime.
Prime.
All
But speaking
right.
of football, before we go, because
Uh-huh.
we not gonna glance past this, because I generally
I'm not even
try to
about to
be
look in the
cool.
camera. I'm
I
not
try
even
to be
looking in
cool.
the
I
camera.
try to be cool. I know sometimes my friends are on the opposite side of the line when it comes to sporting events. They're on one side, I'm on another, and that's okay. Everybody enjoy the game. I'm, trying to make soup to nurse my sweet husband to health, who is also a Denver Broncos fan. So, I wasn't about to start no drama. Okay, Raider Nation through and through over here. And I start getting text messages giving me the play-by-play of what's going on the game. And I'm like, oh shoot, is that going on right now? And then they continue because at the time, his team was on the up and up and up to the point where I was like, oh dang, well, I guess it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And then the text got quiet. I was like, what happened to my updates? Turn the game on. I was like, things in the game done changed. So shout out to the Raiders. 1-0. And number
I
one, AFC
was
West.
pissed.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Y'all, I was pissed.
Yeah.
We lost by 1 point. First of all, to be clear, I am a Denver Broncos supporter,
Oh, okay.
right?
Supporter. What's the difference
Supporter.
between a supporter and a fan?
I could leave.
Okay.
And I'm there. So here's why I'm a Broncos. So people are like, why are you a Broncos? I am a Broncos supporter because I am a Peyton Manning fan. Right.
Okay.
So I was a Peyton Manning fan from college when he was at Tennessee. Then he went to Indy. I got receipts. I can go back to my office. I'm go Colts because I'm a Peyton Manning fan.
Okay.
When he left and he went to the Broncos,
then that's where you were. And then you just stay there even though
he retired, and I was kind of like, I ain't got nowhere to go really. So there's teams that I like. Like I like Kansas City because I like what Mahomes is doing over there. Like, but you don't see me like waving the banner.
No. I know I don't see that.
In that time, the Rams have come back to LA, so I'm like, I always support LA. The Chargers, I used to hate the Chargers. I don't hate them anymore, but I'm trying. I was like, and they're LA. I'm trying. Because really, I hated Phillip Rivers. That's why I didn't like the Chargers.
Okay.
So the three teams that I hated were the Patriots, the Cowboys, and the Chargers in that order. Now it's flipped since Tom was going to Patriots ain't really winning. So the Cowboys just get my angst. I don't care who playing for.
I think it's just the fans.
Well, yeah, that's how I started hating them. It's like we them boys, How about them Cowboys? And they're the most delusional fans ever. Like I swear to God, this is our year.
They prepare for Super Bowl every year. They are.
And I'm going on record to say this. I would love, when I get married, I would love to marry a Cowboys fan.
Oh, look at that.
You know why?
Why?
Because you can be a complete and total loser and they will support you no matter what. You can disappoint them. You can let them down. You can be an underachiever. You can make all the promises in the world and break them, and they will never leave you. Give me a Cowboys fan.
I love it.
They will never
ride or die.
They are loyal. They are loyal to absolutely nothing. I can stop trying to be. I don't have to be a better person. I will quit my job. I would just sit and do and
Dang.
produce nothing for 30 years. And you know what they're gonna say this our year. This is our year.
Oh, shout
You
out to
know,
the Cowboy
they gonna
fans.
listen,
Undying.
they gonna brag on you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? My man,
Mhm.
my man, my man. That's what she gonna do. Damn it, give me a Cowboys fan.
No. Oh my God. Oh, that is
They
hilarious.
are. She can be delusional. She gonna support. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
She
love
gonna
it.
have t-shirts with my face on it. All of it. Ain't gonna
Every
never
year.
leave.
I love
Every
it.
year. Every year.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? My biggest fan.
Biggest. That is hilarious. I don't think I've ever heard that before, but that makes a lot of sense.
I'm
A
just
lot
saying
of sense.
it's in I don't know how they get there, but they there.
Mm, mm, mm.
So if y'all want somebody that's loyal, get you a Cowboys fan.
Get you a Cowboys.
So can we go to the next
Oh,
segment?
yes. Oh, yeah. I just had to get that off my spirit.
So okay, y'all. This one here. So last week we talked about this case in Houston, I believe it was, where a lady allegedly,
Hmm.
a lady was hit in the face with a brick by a man who she refused to give her number to. And she released a video, and her face was swollen, and she was in a doctor's office, and subsequently had started a GoFundMe, to, we're gonna say, cover expenses,
Hmm.
and everything else. And so there was a whole lot of hoopla. I think that, the Shade Room had posted it, and people were mad, and black men were getting drugged for not helping her and protect black
Hmm.
women, and all of the things, all of the feelings, and with all the trimmings. And then there's more. We're gonna say this is also alleged.
Hmm.
Um, the interweb started doing their thing, and it's also being alleged that the whole thing is a hoax. Now, I have seen a video of her walking by, slapping some dude. It was like a white guy. She slapped some dude and like kept walking, right? It looked like dude was standing there letting her, but like she does content. I guess she's trying to be an influencer, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so they said she posted. So they were saying, according to like these other reports, like there was no police report or doctor's note. Reportedly, the nurse, they said that she wasn't in the hospital. There was a nurse that said, had receipts that say like she wasn't hit. I guess that supposedly injected saline to get like the swelling.
Oh,
They were
oh, wow.
saying that there was no, and mind you, these are from like TikTokers. So I'm not saying like any of this is like
Mhm.
official or
Right,
whatever. This
right.
is just the news that's out there. um, they were saying that there's no security footage from the venue that it occurred, and like she was actually across the street, and she came over across the street acting erratic and recording, and nobody did anything because they were like,
What
"What
are
are
you
you
talking
doing?
about?
Like, what are you doing?"
Oh.
So now all that information was there, but the thing that kind of, I was like, this could be true. This can, they may have manufactured this. Who knows? But there is another video of her. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. I sent it to you. But there's another video of her about 3 years ago in 2020 with a beat up face. Same story. They beat me up because I'm trying to be, and also started a GoFundMe. So this is like her second time. Or I think there might be more. That was like, check her GoFundMe history. But there's like a trail of GoFundMes with kind of like the same storyline. So I guess she had gotten beaten up, faces beaten up. There's a subsequent GoFundMe, um, to go with it. And the problem with all of this, whether it's truthful or there's not, then you have these people, like stuff like this is what we were talking about last week, where it makes it hard, right?
Yep.
To, you hear protect black women, believe black women. People like this make it difficult to do that, you know. Um, and so, right, so someone started the first GoFundMe, but it's what I mean is it's still the same storyline,
Hmm.
right? Like You just out here getting your ass whooped. Like at some
I know.
point,
I
like,
was like, oh God.
you know what I mean? So even so, it regardless, it raises questions. If it's true and you've gotten beaten up twice, it raises questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, what is going on? Where are you going?
Dang.
What are you doing? Like, why is your life like this? Right? Then, if it's a hoax, why? Like,
Why?
you
Well,
know,
we know why. I guess if it's money
right?
involved.
So, either way, it still makes it hard for other victims out there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, if let's say it happened the first time, what kind of establishment are you at? Who are you with? What are you know, is this a trend? Are you still at the same kind of faces doing the same things?
Yeah.
3 years apart. You know what I mean? And so at some point you kind of like, hey, like, what are you doing? If I'm your dude or your brother and you just out there getting your ass beat, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying? And I know they say we hate saying, oh, don't victim blame.
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know,
it doesn't have to be blaming. It could really be like asking questions, right? Like, yeah, where are you going? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What kind of company are you keeping if
mhm,
this has now been a pattern? If we're saying that it's true and it's a
right,
pattern, that's a pretty crazy pattern. Like I could
right,
imagine that happened to me once, let alone multiple times.
right,
And
and
what is the likelihood that's like from a complete and total stranger? Like we're not talking about a relationship that has a pattern of domestic violence or even someone who continues to date people and wind up in domestic violence situations. It
mhm,
sounds like we're talking about like random person on the street
mhm,
assaults you and that happens to you multiple times.
mhm,
Yeah, that is going to make
yeah,
people wonder, A, is that true? And B, if it is, what's
because I
going on
don't.
over there?
It doesn't seem like it's something difficult to investigate. Like her social media is clearly attention seeking, right?
Hmm.
The rant that she was going on in the first video is like, oh, just because I'm trying to be a doctor, they want to hold me that. Like, huh? They beat
Yeah,
you up because you want to be a doctor. Like that don't
want
even
to be a doctor.
sound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like who
Like
knows? Who knows you like that when they're walking up on you on the street? Who knows you want to be a
right?
doctor?
Who knows you want to be a doctor? So I it gets
That's
real
weird.
murky, and it just, if I was a white person, right? Let's say if I was a white person that didn't like black people, it makes the black
No,
community look real bad because it's coming on the heels of the whole Carly Russell situation, right?
Russell.
Because
Mm,
when something happens to black women, the community rallies, right?
hmm.
True or false? We don't really wait for the facts. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I won't even say just black women, just black people in general. When we feel something unjust is done to black people, the community rallies, right? Because we're tired of the injustice. But then you get those that's like, you lying. you know, you had Juicy Smouye, you know, he started out, you lying. I mean, and here's the crazy. This is what we even sets him apart. Where Carly came along and she went missing. At least going missing was part of the whole
Right.
let me get
Hmm.
quiet. He went on tour. You know what I'm saying? He on stage is calling himself the gay Tupac, and
Tupac.
we
Yeah.
got memes and flyers and banners. You know what I'm saying? Justice for Jesse, for Jussie, all
For
this
Jesse.
justice for Jussie, right? And
Why his
then
parents
and
do
then
that?
had the nerve talk about, if I go to jail, I didn't kill myself. I didn't commit, like, boy, don't nobody, ain't nobody trying to kill. I'm
He's
a I'm gonna make myself a martyr by
right.
any means. I'm gonna be
Right.
like, bro, no, stop it. If anything, you what they want in there.
Just mad that he messed up Empire. He was on a roll, and
Yeah.
then it just did a
I stopped
nosedive.
watching Empire long before that happened. Once
You don't
Terrence,
watch nothing, so I don't really judge. I'm surprised you even watched it at all, let alone you fell off.
Yeah, the first season, maybe parts of season 2, and then I lost
Once I
interest.
was in there, I was in there. I was like, look, now they got to land the plane. I got to stay here till they land the plane. And
Now,
then
if you
the
ask some,
pandemic
yeah.
came.
Now, Snowfall, I watched that.
Hmm.
Um, I still got to watch the last season of Godfather Harlem. I watched that. I
Me
watched the
too.
Game of Thrones. I did watch that.
Oh yeah, multiple
I
times.
Yeah, I
When
watched.
is House of the Dragon supposed to come back? Next year?
I think they mentioned something about it, but they late. I'll tell you that much.
I know because I just saw a memory on Facebook that I was
Mhm.
watching it this time last year, and I was like,
Yeah, in August. It came out August of last year, and we like, hello, it's been a year. We
give
need
us
to
something.
know. Give us something. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, like, come on, black folk, like, don't cry wolf, because all that's doing, it's helping those who oppose us to be like, see, I told you, or it makes it easier for them to abuse us, because who's gonna believe it when it actually happens?
Well, let's talk about the why because I or what we think the why could be.
Mhm,
Because if you do something like this, you're not thinking about the plight of black people. Clearly, there's something in the immediate that you
mhm,
need or you crave. Like, do you think it's like she needed money? So she did this, or is this like a greed thing? Like, I haven't looked at her social, so I don't know if she's,
mhm.
a couple of days from being homeless, like, and somebody does something like this because, you know, even though humanity is pretty ridiculous, also people have that collective, like, oh, we got to help people. There's that,
Mhm,
the hearts of most will say, I don't want to see somebody get hit upside the head with a brick and have to miss work. So let
mhm.
me go ahead and donate something to the cause. So
Right.
knowing that, do you think, even if it's not specifically her, but somebody in that kind of situation that, goes to the extreme to concoct a story and or create a vehicle for giving,
Mhm.
what do you think the rationale is? Because yeah, they're not thinking about us.
Well, we the dopamine of internet fame, like, we social media has created a vehicle for people to get rich and famous very quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
One viral video changes everything for you, you know. I know somebody right now that lives a very, comfortable life because of one viral video. Now, granted, there was follow up, like, there was work being done before that, and then one of their
Right.
videos went viral, and they've been on ever since.
Dang, we got to
So
make us videos.
yeah, yeah, we got it,
You gotta
but
be careful what you ask for though, because
yeah,
viral might
yeah, viral, hot,
viral's a thing.
yeah, but it's like, just look at the things that we post for likes, right? Most of
Mm.
the things that we post for likes are provocative. They're negative in nature. They're petty or vindictive. You know what I'm saying? We steal other people's thoughts and repost them for likes. We steal other people's content, and I do too. Like, y'all, listen. Let
They
me
have
say,
share buttons now. You
yeah,
do not.
I've said this, and I said it again. Stealing this is not a compliment,
Yeah.
right? You post something, you're like, "Ooh, stealing." No, no, don't, don't,
Don't steal.
don't steal.
Share with your name, with somebody's name
Right.
attached. Don't just,
And
yeah,
so
copy paste.
I get so nervous to post certain things, because it's like, oh, I'm stealing it. And it pisses me off when someone else posted without you, like, and then someone else, oh, I'm stealing it. I'm reposting this. And then we'll repost and tag them. And folks, oh, this didn't come from me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, but we go out of our way for the attention and the validation. That like button is something else, you know
Mm-hmm.
and how folks will go back and check their phone and check to see how many likes they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, you know.
Mm.
And I've even posted, like, I pointed it out to you, like, on my social. When I say something silly, right? Like, if I say
Mm-hmm.
something provocative to stir engagement, or if I say something silly, it gets
It's through the roof.
it's through the roof, right? I say something that holds people accountable to themselves, or you know what I'm saying? No, you know,
Then I
like
just
I posted a status that said that people give more energy to their haters than to the people that support them.
mm,
It may have got like 15 responses, a couple, you know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, y'all like this one. Because we do, and it's crazy to me. Like people will get on or succeed something, and the first thing they do, I want to thank my haters
yeah.
because y'all motivate me. Now
Yeah.
you act like you ain't have people giving you money and supporting you and encouraging you, and they don't get no love. It's the hey, I'm gonna thank my haters that
Yep.
thought I
Pick up
couldn't
to
do it.
all my
Right.
haters.
And half of y'all ain't got no haters.
Mm,
Like,
my
listen,
Lord.
I wouldn't know if I had haters because I pay them no attention
That part.
at all. I don't have people in my life telling me I can't do it. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm more likely to think I can't do it than any of my people that I know. And if they are saying that I can't do it, they're certainly not saying it to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I just, you know, and shameless plug. I'll say this in my first book, I write about haters, right? And I tell people if you are focused, if haters motivate you, then you're focused on the wrong thing, right?
Mm.
And this is why achieving to prove doubters or haters wrong is an achievement that is negatively fueled. It's fueled by negativity, it's fueled by hate, right? And now
Mm-hmm.
that you've accomplished that, then what's going to now fuel you to the next accomplishment? You now have to seek out haters in order to motivate you to do something
Mm.
versus the love and support that you've had the whole time
Whole time.
that we take for granted. You know what I'm saying? And it's a slap in the face to the people that have supported you the whole time, that the ones that get the shine and the burn
Mm.
and the energy is the haters,
The haters.
you know. And so everything you do is now fueled by hate and negativity. And when you do that, even though you've accomplished something great, it's still connected to something negative. It's stamped
Mm.
by negativity. Yeah, this the one that such and such said I couldn't do. Look at me now. They probably not even paying attention to you.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
So
Part.
that's why I say that. But yeah, like people want to be famous. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And they want to do it without putting the work. I like Kevin Hart's quote when he was like, "Everybody want to be famous, but don't nobody want to put the work in."
Right.
You know, they
Right.
want to be famous from a random moment, and they're willing to do crazy shit to get it. And so now you see people doing the wildest stuff.
Mm.
Everything is a skit now. Like I just these manufactured moments. Like I was I saw this video, this lady that's supposed to be on a plane and she blindfolded because she's supposed to be scared of a plane and she's holding on to this white guy that's next to her. Some stranger like, oh, I'm so scared, but I'm flying to go see my son, my firstborn. He's everything to me and do do do. So like the dude gets up and they switch seats and you know here comes this dude in uniform. Mind you, the dude in uniform is sitting at the back of the plane, like 5 or 6 seats behind
Mm-hmm.
her. So there's no way you don't see this big old dude either when you get on the plane or if he passes by on the plane, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the plane has these pillars. Like planes don't have pillars. It was a set, and it was so fake and manufactured. And she just holding on. It's like the video's like 5 minutes long, if not longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it was the reveal. Oh, mama, it's me. Like, how are you even on the plane? Where are you going? You flying back to the same place from where you were? Like, it didn't even make sense. Like that, in order for you to be on that same plane, you had to already be in the city she was in because you're on the
Right.
same plane. So why are you flying back to where she going to visit you on the same plane? Why didn't you go see your mama when you was in her city?
That
Like, it
part.
didn't even make logistical sense. And you know, people want to because we love the I'm coming home videos and people like not a tear. It wouldn't. I was like,
Not a tear.
you know, so we're taking like just the authenticity out of these things, right? Because I love a
Mm-hmm.
great. come home from deployment video, and they're like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, man, you know,
I didn't have no video. Nobody was recording me, but yeah, I was.
right? So you see these authentic moments that people respond to, and now we're gonna make them fake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fake fight videos, fake reaction videos, like
Fake,
you know,
fake, 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 fake.
everything's fake. So that's why I think Ogro did like we trying to milk these 5 minutes of fames, one GoFundMe at a time.
Right.
You know, so but we not gonna milk y'all with nothing fake. If y'all want to give us some money, we ain't gotta go fund me, but we got a cash app.
We
So
got a cash app and we got a PayPal me.
yeah.
And those of y'all who know us, you can slide us a little something. We'll take that as well. Yeah,
Like,
fake deployment. That's gonna make me want to fight. Somebody got a fake deployment video.
Yeah, that's
those of us who have been through that. They ain't nothing.
Exactly. So
those emotions are for real.
Right. These videos be so fake, especially the ones where how is it that people are catching all this stuff going on before it happens? Like the camera's already rolling. You ever notice that? Like it's not something that just popped off and you see the camera.
And they all seem to be on the plane. Because first of all, like you can get arrested with too much commotion on a doggone plane. But I've seen some of these videos. I think I've seen at least 2 or 3 with plane scenarios. One where this man was like super irate to this black man and found out like he wrote the book that he was reading like in his hand. Another where this white woman was telling this black guy like there's no way you could afford to sit in first class and wouldn't move out of his way so he could get to his seat. And I was
like how do you know to record these interactions, especially like the one with the book? I think I saw that one. Like, I wrote that book actually. Like how do you know that this is about to play out this way?
I guess like people start getting too loud, you like and just hope.
Like now it's more believable when I turn on the video and the video like they already fighting.
Yeah.
Right. Or the argument is already started. But these videos be starting with 2 passersby and and somebody like really, come on. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to do better with y'all production because it's not even. We're now trying to figure out if things are real versus if they fake. Like before, we was like, "Ooh, look, oh, right," and then we find out, "Oh, it's fake." Now we just assume it's all fake.
It's all fake,
Yeah. So I want y'all, if y'all find it, y'all post in the comments. Give us the links to y'all favorite fake video. We gonna start. That should be fun. We gonna start doing reaction videos.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Cause y'all, I ain't got that kind of time.
Or like, but also get to the point to the point of what you just said. Like, I'll be sliding the thing. Like, let me get to where I need to be. Because watching some of these, I'm like,
wait,
I have other things to do.
Like, then there's that trend where these super long videos, like these explainer videos, that turn out to be nothing.
Or the cooking, the ones I've seen have been like cooking
there's
videos.
There's cooking, there's demonstration. Like, oh, I got this mark on my car. So first we're gonna take $100 bill and we're gonna put dishwashing liquid on the $100 bill, and then you gotta rub it with foil, and then you light a match and you burn the edges. We just gonna and it's be like 10 minutes of the most random.
Right after they've already used 5 minutes, I'm gonna wait for everybody to get in the room.
Right, and they're doing that to get their viewership up.
Yeah,
the cooking ones. Oh, the cooking ones. The thing that annoys me most, one, it's always some white woman, right? But it's not even the white woman that's cooking. It's the one that's filming.
Yep.
Like, oh my God, that's gonna be so good. Oh my God, that smells great. Like, you don't put eggs and Doritos in the damn pan. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna stir that. You want that? You see that consistency right there?
Oh, Ashley, you're so smart. Yeah, I had to start doing that too. Or looking at the reactions to the video. So if I see like an angry face, then I know what's up. Because
I always know. I always just like she's putting a hot dog in a Twinkie, y'all. Like, Come on. We're gonna have the savory from the hot dog and the sweetness from the Twinkie for the bun. You know, you know, they just be doing they be doing the food. Like, wait, what?
Talking to Twinkie.
This is gonna be so good. Anytime they
Oh
start,
my goodness.
anytime they start crumbling up chips on top of
Oh yeah.
some kind of like, and we're just gonna make sure we get that layer right there. We're gonna make sure you cover it all up because this is gonna get nice and mushy, and this is gonna be our mashed
You've
potatoes
watched
right here.
these because that's
Oh yeah, yeah.
you are
Because
exact.
they're hilarious to me. Because
Oh
soon
yeah.
as soon as I hear, oh my god, that's gonna be so good. And you know they be throwing up after they do it, and the reaction is always the same. Like, man, you don't get your ass out.
I know that's right. No, for real. Groceries cost too much
No,
for
the money that
them
they
and these
no,
shenanigans.
but the money that they making from these views, because one, it only take one person to watch it, and then they're mad, so they share it because they mad. Like, look at this, all right. And now the
That's what it
viewership
is.
is just going
Now
up. So
everybody's got
either
to
so
have
you got
somebody else look
those,
at it.
yeah, you got the people that think it's real and think it's gonna be a real creation. Then you got the ones that know it's fake and mad. Then you got the ones that know that's funny and then they just share it. So you got 10
Yes.
minutes of damn hot Cheeto hamburger helper. You know what I'm saying? Vegan,
Right.
vegan hot Cheeto hamburger helper.
Hamburger helper. Surprise.
Right.
On
We're
the
gonna make chocolate hot Cheetos. Yeah, so I just yeah, hey,
nasty.
shout out to the white women recipes. All right.
Right. Right.
Amen.
Amen.
So the big story, well, moral of the story, stop lying, y'all. Um I'm a,
Final thoughts early. Stop
yeah,
lying.
stop lying, stop lying. I'm gonna let you bring this one in.
Oh.
With
Yeah. So also last week, I believe, or at least within the last few weeks, we were talking about Steve Harvey and Majorie Harvey allegedly going through some marital issues as a result of, some rumors or social media discussion about her uh, allegedly having an affair with the security and the chef.
yeah.
I believe that's what it was. I was like,
Mhm.
oh my Lord. Um, I'm just like, we know Marjorie's history and pedigree. I don't even see that being the case. I'm like, she gonna go up from here. I don't think she
Uh-huh.
would be trying to date the help,
Mhm.
but whatever. And so that had been in the social media streets, and so we talked about that and just how damaging social media stories can be. Once they hit the wind, it's really no going back from that, right? There will
Mhm.
be people who look and say, oh, well, they came out and said that's false, so they forget about it. And then there will be people who are like, no, I heard it, and so it's the truth, and they'll roll with it. And so this weekend, some exactly, ain't no way she be sleeping down. Nah, nah, sis got a system at this point. She already has a graduate of the school of Marjorie Harvey, and her name
Mhm.
is Lori. So I don't think she would be hitting the backstroke. She's going forward. In any event, this weekend, Shirley Strawberry. So definitely my LA natives know and how far back Shirley goes when she was Shirley Clark. Okay,
Right,
like
with John London.
way, way back, right? But has been on the Steve Harvey Morning Show with Steve Harvey even prior to them being a nationally syndicated show. I think back like early 2000s, 2004,
Since he started.
2005. Yeah, so they've been together for a very long time. And so you can imagine the type of friendship, kinship, family situation that exists there. And over the weekend, some tapes were leaked of Shirley having conversations with her estranged husband, who is locked up at this point,
I'm
on
locked
counts
up.
of,
Don't let
yeah,
me out.
child P, theft, gun possession, and fraud related
Mhm.
to a credit repair business. So he's in jail right now. She's having a conversation with him. Now, everybody doesn't have experience with people they know being in jail or in prison. But I think most of us watch enough TV to know those calls are what? Recorded. So she's having a conversation with her husband about Steve and Marjorie Harvey and not thinking anything of it, I guess, and having conversation about their lifestyle, their relationship. She said things like, describing what types of things are in their home, the fact that Marjorie has like her own spa, her own workout room. Like there are people that actually come to deliver services to her, so she doesn't have to go out and do all those things. It sounded like, something that she admired. It didn't sound bad, but there were little zingers in there like, oh, Steve appears to be afraid of Marjorie, how he always welcomes them, and them being, the cast of the show, them to his home, but they don't really go or feel comfortable unless she's not there. Or also the fact that she was able to kind of move around the house and see various things was only because Marjorie wasn't there. And so hearing that from, somebody that he deemed to be close or family, Steve Harvey walked Shirley Strawberry down the aisle at her wedding. And so, you don't let just anybody do that. Like there's more than just a working relationship there. And so he was quoted as saying, when the phone calls came out, it was a little bit different because it's not gossip, rumor, or a malicious lie. It came from the inside circle because we're an inside circle. We are family. And so, on the heels of these other rumors, here comes this. I did notice that he said it's not gossip, it's not rumor. So it's Marjorie is treating them like the help. I'm like, is that the part that's not gossip and rumor, or
yeah,
or just the fact that now it's out there? Because I think people have painted her with this brush for a long time, but nothing's really been corroborated because Steve definitely does. He puts her on a pedestal. Even with this, was just like, I don't want my wife, involved or maligned in this way. But here's somebody from the inside circle that's saying, no, like she is not warm and fuzzy with us like Steve is warm and fuzzy with us. She looks down on us and doesn't make us feel comfortable. So that's what's kind of out there. And I think what caught your attention, of course, was that she apologized to him and to Marjorie. There's some people saying like, well, she didn't really owe him an apology. And then of course there's going to be people who feel like, she absolutely did. Steve, from what I read, was not angry at her. I think it was more of the, just the hurt, like, oh, somebody that I thought was close is actually caught on tape, right? Like this is not a he say, she say situation. And yeah, I'm sure she was concerned about her job after that because
she did say that. So I got a chance to listen to the Strawberry Letter, which turned out to be like over 30 minutes. The Strawberry Letter never.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like
a whole show.
So the thing is, so he actually teased it, right? And I started seeing posts like, "Oh, Strawberry Letter gonna be lit tomorrow," blah 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 blah. So I'm like, wait, what happened? Because I don't listen to the show anymore. So there is, I did catch a link on YouTube that played it. They edited out the commercials and stuff like that. So he didn't appear angry with her at all, right? He was like, he highlighted the fact more that the timing that they came out, because the calls were from last year, right? Like 2022, and now the fact that they're getting leaked when he and Marjorie are going through what they're going through was very intentional, right? there was also mention like Tommy, like later on, and he was like, we didn't all have private conversations and said stuff, like such and such get on my
Right.
nerves, and it just happened
Mhm.
that her conversation was leaked, right? And so Steve sounded very forgiving. It appeared to be authentic. You never know, like they on the show, right?
Right.
She did say thank you for not firing me. He was like, I done been through worse than this. And, like
Yeah.
he
I
like
mean,
that.
yeah, what they're saying otherwise is worse
Right,
than
right.
that.
In this. Now, I heard the call, like some of the things she said, and to me, it wasn't that big of it. She said Steve was going up the stairs and was wheezing. She didn't talk bad about Marjorie. I think the only negative thing about Marjorie is like, oh, she looked at us as the help, but it was like she's got this spa. She did it. So someone said like, do she look good? So it wasn't like she getting all that done, and she's like, no, she
Uh-huh.
looks great. She was
Yeah.
like, Marjorie looks great. They were like, she said something like, do you have? She's like, I wish I had that. It was more
Mhm.
doting. Then saying she treats him like the help. Could be your own self projections. Marjorie is rich, Shirley's not. Yeah. So, but Shirley actually went in great detail about her situation, right? So, the
Mhm.
conversation with her husband, he was in jail. She was trying to stand by him. She talked about how
Stand by your
she got this
man.
call from jail when he got arrested, like pretty much giving the rundown of everything, up to the divorce. How she lost her house, had to stay with friends. She was
Dang.
like embarrassed to talk about it. Um, it was yeah, it was a lot. So she was like, I'm having a conversation with my husband. She's like, that doesn't I don't make excuses, but like I didn't think that it would be leaked, of course. Like who did? And so
Child, if I had tapes of the things that I say to hashtag
and
boo.
yeah, Steve said that very thing. Like if people, he's like, if our inner thoughts was leaked, he's like, this show would have,
Child.
he said this show would have been done a long time ago. And
Oh
so,
my
and I
heavens.
wanted to make mention to that, like us being best friends, we have conversations, right? We talk about things to each other that we don't talk about to other people.
Right.
However, I know for a fact the conversations you have with your husband are much deeper than what I'm saying, than things that
Mm-hmm.
you would ever say to me. And if you can't tell your true feelings to your spouse, like I don't care how
Right.
close friends you are to somebody, you don't tell them everything that you're thinking all the time.
Right. Right.
That there's just certain things you don't. It's like, right. But with your spouse, yeah, you tell your real feelings about people.
Right.
And it could be moment to moment. It could be
Yep.
like, but that's kind of what it's pillow
That's
talk.
that's what it is. Exactly.
It's pillow
Exactly
talk.
that.
You know what I'm saying? So it just didn't seem like she was tearing Steve down. I think it was just a big story on the heels of what's currently going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
Steve did go. And let me say this about Steve, right? Because Steve gets a bad rap, and in my opinion, rightfully so in some scenarios. Like, I don't like Steve's relationship advice all the time. I think
No, you are not a fan.
I'm not a fan of his absolutes, right? That's what I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
fan of his absolutes, right? I don't have a problem, and not that I know Steve Harvey personally as a man, but I don't have a problem with Steve Harvey, the man. I don't have a problem with Steve Harvey, especially not I don't have a problem with the businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually admire him in that way. Like I admire what he's built, what he's done, his career, and he did go at length at how she was instrumental in helping him build what they have now, right?
Yeah.
He mentioned when he got with her officially, um,
Right.
like he didn't have them. He had lost a radio show, he lost a TV show. He had proposed to her, and she wanted to get married like the next year. He was like, "Nah, I need some time. I got to build some things. I ain't got nothing." And she was like, "Nah, I want to build it with you." You know,
Mm-hmm.
sure, I should be able to talk about my spouse, but like, if this is the place that I'm going to be the most honest in, you say you want.
Yeah. And I believe she did mean it. I don't
Yeah.
think it was, but I don't.
Now
I
she
mean,
didn't
because
back
there was
off of what
nothing.
she said.
Yeah, because it wasn't anything malicious about Steve. I mean,
Mhm.
outside of him wheezing going, but that was fact. That was fact.
She
Um,
said that she was like, but you was wheezing, Steve.
yeah. So I'm like that part. But
Yeah.
I think what her if people are feeling like she has negative feelings about Marjorie.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
I
it
guess
didn't
that
sound.
would be the only, thing that was negative. And how do you navigate your friend or family member's spouse doesn't like you or you don't like
Mm-hmm.
the spouse, right? And now you're in a situation where, yeah, I've made some comments, and now everybody's, kind of privy to it. Not my, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
Steve Harvey can make fun of
Uh-huh.
himself, child.
Yeah,
Like
but he was saying
all the
that, yeah,
comments that
because he
do
was
that.
saying that on the show. He was like, "We about to go to commercial. I'm gonna take my fat wheezing ass to commercial." She was like, "Steve." So I think he was kind of like lightening the mood, and but
Yeah.
he did mention, um, and we've experienced this on this show, right? He
Hmm.
was like, a lot of people. He was talking about the bloggers. He was like, "Y'all don't know what it's like to deal with what we deal with at this level. Y'all, behind the keyboards and writing blogs, and y'all have y'all little, whatever." He was like, "We get up to do the morning show, and
Yeah.
we do this job to make your day better, and we do it with everything that's going on in our lives." He talked about like
Hmm.
Tommy having cancer and
Yeah.
Junior having a bout with sickle cell, Shirley going through what she going through
Hmm.
with her husband, Steve and Marjorie getting drugged. And he was like, and we got to wake up every morning and make y'all laugh and give
Happy
y'all the
faces.
information, right? And so
Hmm.
we even log on to this show. Some of the days that we've recorded,
Yeah.
we got some shit going on in our life, you know. And some of y'all, for y'all
Hmm.
that don't know, when y'all see that 30-second countdown, sometimes before behind that 30-second countdown, it's real. We like,
Yeah.
but as soon as we that countdown to one, we
What up? What up? What
right,
up?
because this is
And then when it's over, you right
yeah,
back
we were
to
like, you, you know, because it's a job, y'all. This is a job. This is a business and a brand that we've created, that we've committed to doing. And when we bring this show to y'all, we not coming to bring y'all our problems.
right,
Right?
right.
Y'all are not about to tune into a show where we like, well, because my boss came in my office and I didn't have the thing done, and then I looked at my check, and it's $20 show, and I was like, I ain't, like, y'all give a shit about that. Y'all like, we want to hear y'all talk about what happened on the internet
Right,
and everything
right.
else. So it's when you're a professional, and we're not yet anywhere near the level of an internationally syndicated show,
Hmm.
but well, I mean, it's YouTube. It is actually internationally syndicated. We don't know where people watching from,
I,
but like
somebody was
hell,
in the UK. I told
hey,
you, and then we
no, no,
had
no,
South Africa.
it's not that we was top 100
Yeah,
in
South
South
Africa.
Africa in our first year. So we international, damn it. Um, but yeah, when you commit to doing something, you commit to doing it and being the
Yeah,
best at it, and that's what we strive to do. And so I commend Steve for, like,
yeah.
if
All he
anything, he
does, because not just
works,
that morning. Yeah, I was gonna say all
like,
he
between
does.
the talk show, the radio show, Family Feud. Like, he got his own superfood drink out. Like, the man work. I respect his work ethic, his success, all that. Just when he talk about relationships, I don't jive with
You know, with it, just
it.
like just this one thing.
Right. So I don't want to make it seem like I don't like Steve Harvey. Now Derek Jackson I don't like.
I saw he was on a podcast recently.
He was with
I mean,
Willie Moe. Shout out to the
that's
news.
who it is. Willie Mo Jr. Yes,
Hmm.
that's who it is.
Flat out.
Willie Mo Jr.
I mean, hey, do what you do, but no, Derek, like, no, I don't know Derek Jackson personally, but I know you got to be cognizant of your platform and
Hmm.
the destruction of his platform, right? Like, one, he's just toxic to me because you're not helping, and you want to talk to women, and if he this and this, and you your own case study, bro. Like, you out here literally doing all the things that you accusing men of doing, right?
Mm.
and wanting women to follow behind you and the ladies listen to me, and you destroying this woman that you with who's already troubled, right? You know, and then now you want to go on the apology tour. Oh, I wasn't this. I'm like, bro, knock it off. Like, he's smart. I'm gonna hit the sweet spots. Like, hey, I'm gonna pander to women so they can follow me. Then when I get caught, I'm gonna be accountable. I'm gonna stand by my wife, right? And then when that didn't work, when she leave me, now I'm gonna go and apologize and talk about how bad I am. Now we're doing the self-deprecation tour. Stop. And people still rocking with him. So clearly he's got a business model that is effective. So I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm good too.
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah. I'm extra good. But what are your closing? I'm sorry, but Derek Jackson needs to get beat
Yeah.
up.
By a man's man, he
Man,
needs to man up at some point in life.
Might as well be trying to defend himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Careful though, that fool is kind of swole though.
Not careful.
Listen, I don't like him, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can watch your back.
Yeah, just because you know you don't know if he got hands or not. So don't just because he's sitting there turning on the camera, you never know. You don't want to be that cat that walk up trying to be hard and then get your ass whipped by Derek Jackson.
Right.
But yeah. So wrapping up this week and everything else, what are your final thoughts?
Gosh, again, it's always so hard to think about all the things that we talked about, but you know, I think at least for on this last thing, it's tough because again, yeah, you should be able to express yourself to the person that you trust or you're connected to or what have you, but it is hard sometimes to receive feedback that you know is true, right? Because of who it's coming from, and particularly in some sort of public setting. But there may be room for you to really receive the feedback and do something with it. So I hope, of course, there's the show, and everyone has their responsibility to, showing up and continuing to make that show what it is. But I hope that if nothing else, it opened the door for them to have a conversation, for there to be forgiveness, perhaps maybe for Majorie to go, hey, everybody's welcome here, if that's how she feels, because maybe that's not how she feels. And if it's not how she feels, for the co-workers to be able to receive that. But it has to be a real uncomfortable situation, because we don't know Steve Harvey personally, but if he is who he shows himself to be in his hosting roles and as a comedian, and he's very personable, and I couldn't imagine that with people that he's really comfortable with, or considers family, that he wouldn't want them all around. Like, he's adopted this woman's kids. They all, are on these acres and acres of land, from what they show us on social media when the kids go live and all that kind of stuff. So he seems like the type of person, when he's home, would want folks around. And, if you're with someone who is like not like that, that has to be interesting. But, you choose who you're with. And I hope that he's truly happy. I hope they both are truly happy and not just putting on, a facade because they don't want the world to be right, type thing. Shout out to Coco again, and, Black women and Black men in that tennis space that are running things there. Oh, girl, with the brick situation, I'm going to have to go look and really follow that. I hope it's not a hoax. Like, the first thing that I thought once I, read that it could potentially be, like, I felt really sad, because I remember last week being like, oh my God, if that was me, how, scared and angry and all the different things that I would feel. And now I feel, angry that somebody could have, made all that up, again, getting people's emotions all stirred up and then pointing the finger at and filming Black men that were just kind of standing by. Now, I wasn't able to make anybody out, but just imagine if somebody recognized somebody, was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you was just standing by while that woman got pummeled, and then they get assaulted, for
Mm-hmm.
being a bystander and not like, you just don't know what kinds of actions will spur reactions from other people. And so, being very careful and cautious with your platforms. And at this point, everybody has a platform. You don't have to take advantage of it, but everybody has access to a platform because of social media, and it's really up to us to be more responsible with how we use it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I did a hodgepodge of
Yeah.
thoughts.
Um, in that situation, like anytime you are dishonest, especially about something like that, you make it more difficult for people who are actually victimized.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes it hard for people to believe anything, especially when you're talking about protection. You're literally asking men to put their lives on the line or in danger to protect you. And when you do things like that, we're less and less willing to do that. You know, um, just there's a lot of dishonest people out there, and it's sad that it comes from our own at the expense of our own. Like we monetize our community, um, and our ability to unify. Like we always say, "Oh, we can't come together." We do come together, but when things like this happen, why would we want to continue to come together? Because now it just makes us more and more skeptical if it's something real. Like if we don't actually see it happening with our own eyes or see that, recording the actual incident. You know what I mean? Um, because with this situation, it's like there's no other footage other than hers. Like nobody else had their phone. And as quick as people are to have their phones out,
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen any footage but her own. Another video with the same, like it raises questions, To again, yes, shout out to Coco and Black Girl Magic. To Steve, I will say this: I did enjoy how he rallied around to protect his wife, regardless of what we think about her past dealings, how she came to prominence, all that other stuff. At the at the end of the day, she is his wife, right? And you have some of the same people and women specifically that are tearing her down, praying for the type of protection that he's providing.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's that's part of what I'm saying. Like, who do women need protection from? And in this case, it's a lot of women out there that's on her head. You know what I'm saying? Men too, but like he's coming to her defense. Um, because it's not really him they're attacking. Yes, they're talking about his marriage, but they're talking about her specifically, saying that she's cheating and she's doing this. Um, and we don't know whether or not he had some doubt on whether or not that's happened. I'm pretty sure they had some conversations. He might have said, like, is it true? We can deal with it. I don't know. Right. Or he may
Mm-hmm.
have just off top, like, man, look at this BS. Whatever it is, he's coming to her defense, the defense of the brand that they created together.
Yeah.
You know, I believe him when he says that because it's not advantageous to him to not say, like he was saying how broke he was. So who's gonna say that? It doesn't benefit him to say he was broken. He didn't have nothing and he lost everything and she helped build that with him. As a matter of fact, if they were to ever get divorced, he just made a case for her getting half.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Um, and so on the other side, men that are saying stuff like what Steve is describing is the very thing we say we want. Like we ain't got nothing, and she got in the trenches and helped him build and build generational wealth because that's exactly what they built. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So it's funny how the things we say we want, we tear the people down that actually have it and have created the blueprint of doing it, you know. And so instead of studying what Steve and Marjorie have built and studying and taking notes on how they're sticking together through this and how he's publicly, coming to his wife's defense and everything else, while also not giving it daily attention, you know, and then still managing to do all the things that he does in the midst of all this. I gotta commend him for it,
Mhm.
um my personal feelings aside about that one aspect that we talked about. So, shout out to Steve. I pray he and Marjorie, because like it doesn't benefit us as a community to see another black couple break up, right? And I know a
Right.
lot of people would like to, because they don't like some of the stuff that Steve says, because he's always, oh, y'all listen to Steve Harvey too much, which partly is true, but the parts that you need to be paying attention to, um you know he's come from the mud like a lot of us are trying to do. So
Right.
I don't want to tear that black family up. Black families have enough to deal with on their own without outsiders trying to tear them
That's
apart.
true.
So,
Yeah.
so those are my final thoughts. But y'all, we love and appreciate y'all as always. Thank you for tuning in and sticking with us through um another show. Hopefully I can get to bed before I get called out about something else. um,
Mm-mm.
in one evening. I didn't got called out about work, about the show, about football, about
Yeah. Yeah. See
all
if I
the
can think of something else.
all the call outs.
When I end the stream, I might have something.
You might have something right, but y'all don't forget, like, comment, and especially subscribe, right? And as always, in closing, remember.
Be free to be you.
We'll see y'all next week.
We love y'all. Have a great week.